Hello everyone, welcome to episode 19 of Unbridled. We've made it to the big day. It's Gold Cup day of the 2025 Cheltenham Festival. And, of course, my sidekick, as always, on Unbridled is Paddy Brennan. And Paddy, it's pretty pathetic, isn't it? But anyway, this is what you get when you win a Cheltenham Gold Cup. You've got one there. It's a bit tinny, isn't it?
It sure is.
Do you think it's real? Do you think it's real? I don't think it is. Not worth. I'm not going to do anything with that. It's tin.
Wouldn't have minded another one, Matt.
Well, of course you you should have to, but unfortunately you gave that to Brian Cooper, and he's got that on his mantelpiece. But what you've got to do is get him to jump, Paddy, which has been a theme of the week. It's been I think, what we can only describe as a dramatic Cheltenham Festival. It really has. I mean, the first 2 days was just chaos.
Yeah, it really was chaos. And it makes you think leading into for me, the greatest race of all, the Gold Cup, what comes next. But yeah, it's been a few days of mishaps, mistakes, bad starts, falls, you name it. It's been there.
One of the phrases that Bruff Scott used on TV when he was hosting on terrestrial back in the day, he would use the phrase, "It's not an exact science," over and over again. It was kind of like his little phrase. And it really isn't. It doesn't matter how many hours of forms of study you put in, how many horses you may have ridden as a jockey or trained as a trainer. Actually, for all that we talk in the words like this is a good thing and this is a certainty and all that, which is great, it's part of the game, it's why we all love it. But you never, well, apart from Unsinkable Boxer, you never quite know what's going to happen, do you? It's one of those games. Anything can happen.
I think that's what makes the sport so great, though, Matt. You literally don't. For me, a great saying I heard in horse racing is, there's one rule, and the rule is there is no rule. And I think that has been the case this week, some of the results, but it's been brilliant. When you get lows, you get highs from connections, and some of the winners this week so far have been brilliant.
Had one or two little moments this week. I thought there were probably 2 or 3 worth mentioning. One was just completely normal. It's not funny. It's not, there were a group of jockeys at the Weymouth. David Maxwell was one. Jamie Moore was another. There were 2 or 3 others in there. And also Adrian Maguire, who of course rode Cool Ground to win the Gold Cup. Probably, I think people generally say the best jumps jockey who wasn't champion jockey, Adrian Maguire. But it's interesting. I basically was just listening into conversation, and Maxwell was basically saying to Adrian Maguire that when he was growing up, he'd watch Adrian ride and he would just look at him in awe. And it was kind of like Maxwell was meeting a hero, and you don't think of riders like that, but these meetings do give the chance that even the jockeys meet people that they've always admired, but they're not bumping into these people every day of their lives, sort of thing. I enjoyed that moment. Johnson White I bumped into. Nice. Johnson, of course, who assists the master trainer Philip Hobbs.
Well, he's joint trainer now.
Yeah. What do you think Johnson said to me, Paddy?
I can only imagine it wasn't good.
Johnson said to me that you have promised him that he will be becoming a trainer for the Paddy Brennan Racing Club.
There's a few on promises there at the moment, Matt, so I need to get a move on.
So you can let Johnson and Philip Hobbs down?
Well, I'm trying to get around to the people that give me chances in my
Why
career.
did you tell him you would send him a horse if you're not going to?
I will.
Because
it just might take as much time as getting to the dinner. It just doesn't happen overnight.
There's a bit of a theme here, isn't there?
What's that?
Well, you are not a man of your word.
I am.
So you are sending him a horse?
Yes.
When?
In time.
Well, it's just like dinner then, isn't it?
No.
In time. What, 2028? 9?
What was it next? That was 2.
I mean, if I'm lucky, I've got another 40, 50 years on this planet. Am I ever going to have dinner in those years?
Yeah, you are. Right, what was the next question? The next one? You said there was 2.
Oh,
3.
The next one was a great one. Chris Hughes, socialite Chris Hughes. Good looking lad.
Likes the modelling and all that, carry on.
Yeah, modelling. Well, we'll get on to modelling later in the show, Paddy, because there's something you haven't told us there, isn't there? But anyway, we'll get on to that in a minute. So I saw Chris Hughes. We were having a chat, and this just tickled me. Chris obviously is a good looking lad, yeah. And it's fair to say that, how can I put this? He has the pick of quite a lot of ladies in his life, yeah, on a regular basis. Anyway, he was doing a box talk about the races. And he said he was just, so he's on the mic looking like this, saying, "Welcome to Cheltenham, everyone." And he looked down to a certain table 12, and sitting there was a lady he'd had a night with about 2 weeks ago. And he said he almost fell into a hole on the stage like this. And she was looking at him like this. And Chris said it was the worst moment ever. I mean, obviously, you and me, Pad, are not ever going to have that kind of problem because we're upstanding individuals. But you can imagine the horror, can't you, when you have that situation?
Staring you right in the face.
Oh, horrible. Should we get on
I don't know how we led to that story, by the way. But yeah.
No. Should we get on with the racing?
Yeah.
So, it is Gold Cup day. We're going to go in order. We're not going to go straight to the Gold Cup in the hope that you actually watch this towards the Gold Cup. So, I've already said there are no certainties in racing. It's not an exact science. But Lulamba, it's an absolute good thing in the JCB Triumph, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing we probably do agree on.
You supporting Nikolai.
Yeah.
This is a first on Unbridled. So finally you've come round.
And it was sad to see Palladium miss the race.
Why is that sad?
He misses the race.
No, I know that, but why is it sad?
He got capped.
Why are you sad?
Well, because it was a big chance for, well, not sad for James Bowen, but for another big player for Nicky Henderson. I thought he had a good chance.
Yeah, but one out the way for Lulamba.
Okay. But anyway, it's from the same stable, so he missed the race. Yeah, I do.
Giant field, isn't it?
Probably make it three horses match. East India Dock, Lulamba, Hallow Neighbour. My choice is Lulamba.
Yeah. So you're just following me in.
Why?
Blindly.
No, I'm not. What do you like?
Hold on. At the start of were you not listening? At the start of this conversation, I said, there is a good thing in this.
Yeah, I know, but I'd said a few others. You don't want to give, you don't just give
you
one.
just read out the first three in the betting.
No, I said, I didn't know they were. I can't get the bloody betting up here. Look.
Well, you've just, okay, well, we're both with Lulamba. Paddy thinks the top three in the betting have got a good chance in this race.
No, I'd say they'll fill the places. I thought it was between the three, but I thought Lulamba will come out on top. Is that all right?
I mean, it has to be, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, Lulamba beat Mondo Man on debut. Mondo Man, okay, he got beat at Kempton, but he wasn't disgraced. But it was the style. People forget, of course, what was he giving, £10 Lulamba that day?
And just on Mondo Man, we got an interesting jockey change here. Brian Hughes, champion jockey, comes in for the right. Did you see that?
Yeah, that would be disappointing for Caelan Quinn, won't it?
Yeah, disappointing for nothing. But it could, it's a big ride for Brian Hughes. And would you give him any trade chance?
I would. Purely because a strong pace and a big field could just be the making of him from the point of view of his flat ability. And the two conversations I've had with both boys, Jamie and Josh Moore, both times he's run, both at Ascot and at Kempton, they have talked to me sincerely, not just winding me up or treating me like an idiot, which often a lot of people do. But they sincerely said to me, this is an absolute machine and you have not seen anything like his real ability yet.
Yeah, and Gary Moore's horses are really starting to hit top form. He's had a few winners lately, so hopefully that could run well. But yeah, Lulamba for me, and maybe that at a big price each way.
Nicky, it seems that everyone in the team has always thought Lulamba is really special.
Well, he's just really nice. He's just a nice guy, very straightforward, very simple, very uncomplicated. He does what you ask him to do every morning. It's not everybody does, in this world.
Why are you looking at me like that, Nicky?
No, we like him. I mean, he's got a big future. I hope this is including a Triumph hurdle, but if it's not, well, he'll be a superstar next year. But
over fences or hurdles?
Well, he could be, he's in that chasing mould. I won't say it's a given thing that that's what he'll do next year, but yeah, he could do.
And just finally, just going back to the Arco, obviously Django Bay won, but in the back of your mind you'll be thinking, crikey, what would Sir Gino have done? What's the latest on Sir Gino?
He's still in the hospital, but we're rather hoping he might come home next week. And then he starts another session with the next part of his rehab. And hopefully he might get out into the field later on in the summer. But nobody knows when he'll be able to come back into training. Nobody knows that he will, but we're very much hoping he will.
Let's hope you end the week with a bang.
Thank you, Matt.
Right, the county comes up next at 2:00. Carjaysi, I'm amazed, is the favourite for this. She'll probably go and absolutely hack up now, but I don't think that triumph of hurdle form is worth toffee. Absurd, winner last year, of course, Luck in the Morning, and McClory. Valgran looks possibly well handicapped for the Skeltons, and Ethical Diamond was a winner last time, always promised much. Have you managed to put a pin in here, Pad?
Not a full field, Matt, which you wouldn't expect. Valgrand, look, a horse again has been trained for the race. He's obviously got a chance, an each-way chance, I think. Of the others, I would like a horse of Joseph O'Brien's called Lark in the Morning.
Say that again.
Lark in the Morning.
Just one more time to make sure.
Lark in the Morning. I thought he was a horse that could run a nice race for JJ Slevin.
10 stone 8. I'm just going with last year's winner, Absurd. He's a bit higher in the weights, but the ground was soft last year. It's a bit quicker this time around for a horse who's got obviously loads of flat ability. I think that will help him. Some people have said that the soft ground last year brought his stamina into play. I'm not convinced by that at all, because I think this is a fat horse with plenty of pace, Absurd. And I think he will win for the excellent Danny Mullins. I love Danny Mullins. He's one of my favourite jockeys in so many different ways.
When I was riding this race, Matt,
Hold on, do you not rate Danny Mullins? You've just ignored. Usually when I say things like that, I'm expecting you to say, yeah, I think he's good too.
Well, we know Danny's good. We've said that before, but I wish in my day I didn't ride in a 16-runner County Hurry. More like 24, so. Anyway, there we go.
This is quite heavy.
Get your hands off that. I'm telling you now.
I thought it actually split.
Where would that? You know what I could do with that?
Smash it over my head.
Yes.
This is the world hurdle. It's quite.
Especially
When you look at those two trophies, you'd think this was the big race, wouldn't you?
well, that's gold.
Allegedly. There's no hallmarks.
Why do you want to get checked out to see if it's fake?
I think it's tin. You should ask them about that. Because I've seen Brian Cooper's and he has hallmarks on the bottom of his. And you've got nothing.
Just as we question that, is your hair really?
So the third race on the Friday is the Mrs. Paddy Power. The Mrs. Paddy Power. Libertine Mare's Chase. It's run as, registered as. Dido Blue against Allegory Devassi. I'm going in first here. I have no idea what Paddy's going to say because we do not collude on this show. But I'm going in first because I really fancy Allegory Devassi in this to reverse recent form with Dino Blue. I think she's just going to be much better than last time. A second of the week for me, at least for Rich Ritchie.
Yeah, I like Dino Blue.
Favourite?
Sorry, favourite. Yeah, short price favourite. But I've
I'll
got
beat you. I'm going to reverse that form. You're not going to. I will beat you. Whatever.
Why?
Because I'm better.
Who is?
Me.
What have you got to do with it? What have you got to do? No. I'm going to stick with Dino Blue. And you're going to go with?
Allegory Devassi, I just said. Okay. Do you not listen? Was this your problem? Is this why Howard Johnson struggled with you? The Paddy, just listen, man. Just listen. I've told you to hold it up. You keep front running.
I struggled with him.
There's not many you haven't struggled with, to be honest. Who in the wearing room did you least struggle with? Shall I come back later?
Yeah, please do.
Because you've got to think of every single person.
Yeah. Aidan Coleman, probably. Aidan Coleman.
Well, you'd be similar, wouldn't you? What? Although, Aidan, if you're watching this, I know you're going to take offence by that, but you would be similar because you're both different thinkers.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in your brains that not many other people probably would get.
No. Both very intelligent.
But you know what's funny, Pat? Is that I didn't know you that well. Well, not at all, to be quite frank, till we did the show. But I feel I get you. I feel if you were in a bad spot, I could come and counsel you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What, get inside my head and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't ring you. I wouldn't choose you if I needed help.
Okay. Let's get to the Albert Bartlett. Obviously, hurdle, it's a grade 1. I find that quite hurtful. You can go first this time while I recover from those comments.
Yeah. The Albert Bartlett obviously staying hurlers, and it's a race where you don't want a quick horse, obviously. You want a horse that stays. For some reason, Matt, this is one of the races at Cheltenham that you get your World Hurls and you get your Gold Cups. But of any of the races, I think over hurls especially, you really need to stay in this race. It's not a flash and travel and jump. You need to just keep going. JetBlue obviously won at Cheltenham, had a little bit of a wobble when he pulled up, but he's back. He's had plenty of time to recover. I'd give him a chance. Matt, there's a horse in here, a big price, Yellow Car, recently purchased 50% by Harry Redknapp. Not a lot wrong with his form, and he could run into a place at 33-1.
Is Harry Redknapp a member of the Paddy Brennan Racing Club in any way?
He is, on a couple of horses.
Okay, it's funny though, you've mentioned him then in this. It just feels like you might be...
No, I'm not.
No, it feels like you
Matt,
might be.
I'm for the people.
Remember, I can get in up here, which is why you should.
You absolutely can.
And I've just got in there, haven't I? I've just got in there.
The one horse, and I've put in a lot of my, when I do that talk and stuff from previous, Windigo, Matt. I think he's got a massive chance. Massive chance.
Well, of course, he mixes it with the New Lion form. And who do you reckon is the greatest fan of the New Lion?
What's Dan Skelton after today?
No. The answer was you.
The New
He
Lion.
was your nap.
Yeah, he was.
On Wednesday, he was your nap.
Matt, you watch him walk around the yard. I'm telling you now.
By about
Star.
Series 6 of Unbridled, I think you'll begin to grasp how you need to answer certain things. So like in TV terms, Pad, I presented you with what could be considered a home goal, really. I opened the net up. The goalkeeper did a little bit of naked running down the line. The goal was there. I led you in to say you, and you said Dan Skelton. So what I wanted you to say there is, this is like, for the people watching, this is like TV talk. When I said to you, well, let's replay that and go again. Okay. As if we've never done it. So Wendigo, of course, brings in the form of the New Lion. And who is the New Lion's greatest fan, Paddy?
Me.
Yeah, because you napped him on the Wednesday. It was your big tip of the week.
All year, Matt. Since he won that, said he wins at Cheltenham.
You're getting it. Right. Okay.
So, yeah, I like Windigo. I love him in this race. And spent a bit of time with one of his owners in London recently. And best of luck to them.
What did you do with them?
Had a drink. It's all right. Do I need your permission for that as well?
No, but male, female? Like what have we got on here?
Male.
Okay.
There's a few
Go
lads.
somewhere swanky.
We did, actually.
Okay, so you take some people to swanky places, but just not me, Michael Buckley and Nicky Henderson.
I've got a lot of bookings, Matt. I've made a few promises that I'm just catching up on.
Yeah, so we heard at the start.
Right, what do you like in this?
I like JetBlue.
JetBlue.
I know you mentioned him at the start, but luckily you didn't tip him. But I agree with you. I think these young horses, not many of them truly stay. And look, when we come to the Gold Cup in a moment, we're going to talk a lot about the fact that he's the only real strong spare. They lack them at the top level of this game. We lack strong stairs.
Why is
because everyone's breeding speed, and I think it's all about.
I think that's a real point we got to look at this week. It really isn't all about speed. And when you look at the Brown Advisory, was it 6 runners, 7 runners, half the field Willie, half the field Gordon? Where are these horses, Matt? And yeah, maybe we are breeding too many fast horses, and moving forward, looking and buying horses, you need to stay in pedigrees 100%.
Yeah, it's up to the Paddy Brennan Racing Club to get a good one. Send it to Johnson White and you'll be away. JetBlue for me, David Cotton and James Reevely on top, former champion of France. I just think he really impressed me last time. So here it is then. It is the Boodles Cheltenham Gold Cup. Give them a good mention just in case they ever want to sponsor us. Galopin Des Champs bidding for 3 Gold Cups. Who are the other horses, Paddy, who's had 3 Gold Cups?
Album Photo, no. Chaos Star, Best Mate.
No, none of those.
Best Mate.
Oh, Best Mate. Sorry.
Get your act together.
Yeah, Best Mate did. Cottage Rake.
Cottage Rake. Did he?
Yeah.
What else?
I think there might be one more. And then, Arkle. Arkle got 3 Gold Cups. And then there was one who got 4, wasn't there, right, back in the 1930s.
This is where you're handy, Matt.
Well, I've forgotten his name, to be honest. But I did write about him earlier, so I'm just going to look him up again. He's one of the most famous jumps horses of all time. Here we go. Golden Miller.
Golden Miller.
There you go. forgetting the name Golden Miller feels like awfulness. But
So what are your thoughts on this race, Matt?
well, Galopin Des Champs is not as short as you might think at the moment.
I think a lot of the favourites this week have sort of drifted.
After what's happened, you kind of see the way. So I'm going to cut this down my side of this very quickly. I think he'll win. I think he's a very strong stare, and like so many of the top horses, he had a disaster early in his career when he fell. But like Corto Star, it was kind of the making of him. I think it probably teaches the young horse respect. He's a great jumper now. He stays stronger than these. I've got Corbett's Cross as my each-way bet if you don't want to back at a short price, because I think he'll be ridden totally not off out the back. We know he stays, but remember there is a different... He stayed in the National Hunt Chase. That actually doesn't necessarily mean he stays, because it might just mean he had the class to beat the others, and class might overcome stamina compared to this race. But I actually think he is pretty good stare. He plugged on well enough in the King George. He plugged on well enough at Ascot last time. I think he is a strong stare, and I think he'll be ridden completely to get a place.
After watching him at Ascot, though, Matt, you know, some of your tipping this week's been good, so it'll need to be here. We'll need to see a lot more from him here.
Some of it's been bad, to be honest. I know.
No, but we'll need to see a lot more from Corbett's Cross here than we did at Ascot.
Well, that's why you're getting 18-20 to 1, though. Other than the fact, obviously, you think Galopin Des Champs will win, I presume, yeah? Do you? Or is there a bet against him that you're quite keen on?
No, look, I have nothing but admiration for Galopin Des Champs. And in the start of this year, when he ran at Punchestown over a shorter trip, and I thought, you know, you were right, I was wrong on that occasion. And the way he's been campaigned, he's been unbelievable at Leopardstown. It's very, very hard to see him getting beaten at. And obviously the ground, we go on about the drying ground, but it actually has ridden. I haven't ridden on it, but it looks slow enough to me. It's definitely more good to soft than good, which I was expecting it to be slightly drier. Now moving on to Friday, the course might just have dried out a little bit more, but I do think Banbridge is a really fascinating runner, Matt. I really do. Because it's a bit of if I compare him to Size and John, I really do. Similar profile going in. Okay, Size and John didn't win a King George, but I look at similarities in them two horses. And as I say, the way this race might be run, okay, you've got pace with the real whacker, etc. But just Banbridge, man, if he was travelling behind Galopin, going to 2 out, I'd be fascinated to see what happens. I know you'd think Galopin would go on and win, but Banbridge is a real interesting runner in this race.
Where I understand the theory, but I always think the theory works if the leader's slowing down. That's where a closer goes into their own.
Yeah.
But the problem for me for Banbridge is that, for me, Galopin Des Champs gets going 2 out rather than, like, I don't think, like, Galopin Des Champs will just be churning it out and then he's just relentless. I can't see how Banbridge ever goes past.
No.
Like, I just can't see it. I can't visualize it unless Galopin Des Champs makes a terrible mistake or something along the way, which again could happen, and that knocks some stuffing out of him. But if he's jumped for fun, I just don't believe there is a staying chaser that can go past him.
Well,
He's relentless.
I really don't think he's as likely to make a mistake as John Bon, and even constitutionally. Like, the one thing with Galopin, when they say the way he jumps, you watch him, he looks really, really good. But I just thought, if you're in JJ Slevin's shoes, your tactics are pretty simple. You follow. But if you are going okay, 2 out, you get right in behind Galopin. You dare go near him if you're still going okay. You've got to leave it as late as possible. That is your one chance. You've got one go and that's it.
If you want other little just tidbits that you might not know all about, Ahoy Seniors had a wind operation, and Lucinda Russell has said that's changed him in all sorts of ways. Apparently it's changed his size, which is certainly an advertisement for all men not to have a wind operation, just in case that was the case. And also, we should just have a quick word about, I know the way you're thinking, because this is a horse who's won the Kim Muir. Obviously, this is a completely different ball game, but he stays really strongly. And although he's been put up as a Grand National horse, supplemented here because connections, trainers always thought he's a Gold Cup horse.
Do you know what the supplement fee is for a Gold Cup?
Not a lot.
It's not
as much as you think. It's not like being on the flat.
Oh, is it not?
No, because on the flat, you get supplemented. There's the chance of breeding and all that kind of stuff. So it costs you a lot.
Okay.
Jumps racing, it's not an awful lot. And let's face it, there's no amount that is a lot for JP McManus.
Well,
it could be £1 million and it's still not a lot for him.
But anyway, look, they wouldn't have put him in the race, Matt, if they didn't feel he was in great form, etc. And yeah, could see him run a massive race.
Penultimate race on the card is the Hunter Chase. How are you on Hunter Chase form? You must be brilliant. You're always searching around for the club to send Johnson a good Hunter Chaser.
I'd love Max McNeil to have a Cheltenham Festival winner. I really would.
Is he in your racing club?
No. He's bought a couple of horses.
Probably will be after this.
No, I get on well with Max, but he had a horse called Seddon.
Oh, Seddon.
Sold.
Didn't he sold it?
Sold. They sold.
And then it won.
For small money, Matt, and went on and won a Cheltenham Festival.
What a mistake of a maker.
Do you know, and if there's ever a man deserves a big day, and I think Shearer is a horse I really like in this race. Obviously, there could be, one or two others. And I'm still not a massive fan that, big trainers can run in these races. I think, these races should be for the point-to-point people, but that's another debate.
When you say big trainers, you mean top trainers?
Yeah.
You're not suggesting that Paul Nicholls is big?
No, I mean top trainers.
Okay.
Paul Nicholls.
Just wanted to make that clear, just in case Paul's watching.
Do you know what I mean? It does make it, what you want to see is a great result. We had it earlier. I'm not saying Jeremy Scott's a small trainer, but seeing him win a champion hurdle is fairy tale stuff. And you want to see a fairy tale winner in this, but looking through it, I like Shearer. I've liked him all along. I think he wasn't that impressive last time at Taunton, but again, it was a quick run because he had to run to get in this race. He's had a break since. He's fresh and well. I think he'll run a massive race.
So I've tipped It's On the Line twice in this race, and I finished second twice with him. I think he's a horrible ride, tricky ride, needs to be delivered right at the right time. But of all the riders here, he's probably got the best man, Derek O'Connor. And I'm happy just to go in again. Third time lucky.
Third time lucky.
Third time lucky.
All mankind, Matt, huh? Never thought I'd see him run over 3 mile too.
Ridiculous. He'll set a gallop, that's for sure. All mankind, natural pacer. And then Cheltenham finishes with the Martin Pike Conditional Jockeys Handicap Hurdle. Remembering very much, although of course he's still alive, I've seen him on this week, the genius that was Martin Pike. Coquette to me is one of the most talked about horses of the week. He's not my selection though. I think I've got the winner. What do you fancy?
What was the best horse to win this race, Matt?
The Martin Pike.
Yeah.
State Mountain, did he win it? Or the other one?
No, you're on the right. Yeah, I don't know if he did, but come on, you must know who won this race.
State Man or I don't know. One of William Mullins' good horses won.
Well, he's about to win his third Gold Cup.
Oh right, okay, Galopin Des Champs.
Right. Well, Quebec to me, I've heard more about him. I wouldn't know what he looks like, and he's been the talk of this place now.
Well, you know what you looks like though. He probably would, wouldn't he?
Wouldn't he?
Gold Cup hero.
Yeah, he's been the talk of. He's that good. Mm-hmm. He's travelled over from Willie Mullins, Trust Sutton, all the way over to the Irish Sea, swam across, and he's been running around Cheltenham. I seen him out the other night shouting, telling everyone, I'm going to win the county hurdle. That's how fancied he is.
So you're going with the favourite?
Yeah.
You need to clean this more.
If you keep going on about that, I'd actually know that would be there. Right, what did you say in this race?
That is good glass.
What did you say in this race?
No Ordinary Joe.
You like No Ordinary Joe?
Yeah. Freddie Ginge. Is it Ginge or Gingle? Ginge.
Lovely, great ride for Freddie.
Anyway, Freddie Ginge. Nicky Henderson is the trainer. This is a horse who has run really well in this race before. And it's JP McManus in a handicap at Cheltenham. So, he's revved up and he's ready to go. I think he's got every chance of being placed. And it's interesting that on Wednesday, one of the Nicky Henderson handicappers, Impose Trois, was heavily backed and ran really well. And I think No Ordinary Joe is exactly the same type of horse. Readied for this. Freddie, a good jockey booking. Nicky Henderson, No Ordinary Joe. And if you're thinking, well, Nico's ditched it. It's conditional jockeys race this. So the great Chastow can't be on board for that.
How is Nico the Chastow?
He's fine, I think. Why is he ill?
Tell him I was asking for him.
That was Unbridled for the Cheltenham Festival of 2025. I hope you've enjoyed all the episodes this week. I would just like to say thank you to our team, particularly Kev, who's just had a baby. Well, he hasn't had a baby. His missus has, actually. So he's just seen this as a holiday to get away from breastfeeding. because Kev,
He's not breastfeeding.
he could, to be honest. Trust me, he could. But he probably isn't. And all our team back at base who obviously have to put this together and put it out. It's a lot of work each day putting this together, mainly because we have to edit your stuff so much. So thanks ever so much for the team. Let's hope we're back to do it all again next year. I hope you've enjoyed the Cheltenham Festival. What do you want to get the last one?
One
That's
thing.
called a wrap up.
Just one thing. You are a celebrity. Now get out of my house.
Dancing on ice, and now I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. I'm out.